The stars had always felt closer to Ethan Cole than people ever did. For most of his 32 years, he had preferred the company of machines, radio signals, and distant mysteries over crowded cities and endless conversations. Working alone at the Deep Horizon listening station in the Nevada desert suited him perfectly. The station's purpose was simple. Listen. Listen for strange radio waves. Listen for anomalies. Listen for proof that humanity wasn't alone. Most scientists believed the chances of detecting intelligent alien life were extremely small. The universe was unimaginably vast, and any civilization might be thousands of light years away. Still, Ethan listened, every night, every day, year after year. Nothing ever happened. At least, that's what everyone thought. One quiet evening, Ethan sat before a wall of monitors while sipping cold coffee. Outside, desert winds swept across the endless darkness. The station was empty except for him. He stared at the incoming signal streams and laughed. "Another exciting night talking to myself," he muttered. The computer continued humming. No response. As expected, Ethan leaned toward the microphone connected to the station's experimental transmitter. "Hello, universe. Ethan Cole here. If anyone's out there, you're doing a fantastic job of hiding." He chuckled and pressed send. The message vanished into space. Normally, that would have been the end of it. But 10 seconds later, every monitor in the room flashed. Alarms exploded. Signal strength spiked beyond anything the station had ever recorded. Ethan nearly spilled his coffee. "What the hell?" the speakers crackled. Stake filled the room. Then came a voice. A woman's voice, clear, calm, and definitely not human. "Hello, Ethan Cole." The coffee cup slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. His heart stopped. For several seconds, he simply stared at the speakers. The voice continued. "I apologize for the delay. Translating your language required additional processing." Ethan's mouth hung open. "No way," the voice responded immediately. "Yes way, as your expression indicates." He nearly fell out of his chair. The signal wasn't recorded. It wasn't delayed. It was responding in real time. "Who are you?" he whispered. There was a brief pause. "My designation is Lyra." Ethan swallowed hard. "You're an alien? I believe that is your species' preferred term." The station suddenly felt very small. The universe suddenly felt very crowded. For the next 3 hours, Ethan and Lyra spoke continuously. She explained that her civilization, known as the Elysians, had been monitoring Earth for centuries, not interfering, not invading, simply observing. Humanity fascinated them. According to Lyra, humans were unlike any intelligent species they had ever encountered. "We expected your civilization to destroy itself long ago." Ethan laughed nervously. "Honestly, so did we." Lyra seemed amused. "Yet you continue to survive." As the conversation continued, Ethan learned something astonishing. The Elysians possessed technology thousands of years beyond humanity's understanding. They could bend space, manipulate gravity, travel between star systems in days. Yet despite their advancements, they struggled to understand one thing. Humans. "Your species behaves irrationally," Lyra said. "That's fair. You risk yourselves for strangers. Sometimes, you form emotional bonds stronger than logic. Definitely, you sacrifice yourselves without guaranteed benefit." Ethan shrugged. "We call that being human." A long silence followed. Finally, Lyra spoke. "I wish to understand." And so began the strangest friendship in human history. Every night, Ethan returned to the listening station. "Every night," Lyra answered. Weeks became months, months became years. Neither government nor military knew what was happening. Only Ethan and the mysterious voice among the stars. They discussed science, history, music love, fear dreams. Lyra shared breathtaking descriptions of alien worlds orbiting distant suns. Ethan shared stories of Earth's oceans, forests, and cities. For the first time in his life, he felt understood. Then, everything changed. One evening, Lyra's voice arrived accompanied by heavy interference. Something was wrong. "Ethan." Her tone sounded strained. He sat upright immediately. "Lyra? What's happening?" There was static, then her answer. "We have a problem." A chill ran down his spine. She explained that another alien civilization had discovered Earth, a species known as the Vorex Dominion. Unlike the peaceful Elysians, the Vorex were conquerors. Entire worlds vanished wherever they expanded. Civilizations were absorbed or destroyed. And now they were coming toward Earth. Ethan felt sick. How long? Approximately 11 months. The room became silent. Humanity had spent centuries worrying about alien invasions. Now one was actually coming. What are the Elysians doing? Another pause. Nothing. What? We are forbidden from interfering. Ethan slammed his fist onto the desk. Billions of people will die. Our laws prevent direct intervention. For the first time since meeting her, Lyra sounded ashamed. Ethan stood and paced the room. There has to be something. There may be. He stopped. What? We cannot fight for humanity. Hope appeared in her voice. But humanity can fight for itself. Over the following months, Lyra secretly shared information. Not weapons, not advanced technology. Knowledge, scientific principles, engineering concepts, mathematical breakthroughs. The kind of information that could accelerate humanity's development by centuries. Ethan became humanity's messenger. Convincing world leaders proved nearly impossible at first. Most believed he was insane. Then he showed them the evidence, the signals, the calculations, the predictions, science. Everything. Governments listened, scientists listened. The world united faster than anyone thought possible. Humanity had less than a year to prepare. For the first time in history, nations stopped competing. They collaborated, every scientist, every engineer, every space agency. One goal, survival. The months passed quickly. Humanity transformed. New propulsion systems emerged. Orbital defense platforms surrounded Earth. Artificial intelligence accelerated research. Fusion reactors powered entire continents. Technology advanced faster than any point in human history. And through it all, Ethan continued speaking with Lyra. One evening, she asked him a question. Are you afraid? He looked toward the stars. Terrified. Yet you continue. That's what humans do. Another silence. Then Lyra spoke softly. I think I understand now. The Vorex arrived exactly 11 months later. Thousands of warships emerged beyond the moon. The site was visible from Earth. Gigantic black vessels covering space like a swarm of insects. Humanity's first alien invasion had begun. Global panic erupted. But Earth was ready. The battle lasted 3 days. 3 days that would be remembered forever. Human fleets fought alongside autonomous defense systems. Orbital stations fired weapons built from Elysian theories and human ingenuity. The Vorex expected an easy victory. Instead, they encountered the most stubborn species in known space. Human ships continued fighting after suffering catastrophic damage. Pilots refused to retreat. Engineers repaired systems while under attack. Entire crews sacrificed themselves to save others. The Vorex couldn't understand it. No species had ever resisted this fiercely. Finally, on the third day, the Vorex flagship fell. The remaining fleet retreated. Earth had survived, against all odds. Humanity had won. Celebrations erupted across the globe. Cities illuminated the night sky. People danced in the streets. Children looked toward the stars with wonder instead of fear. And Ethan sat alone in the listening station waiting. Hours passed. Then the speakers crackled. Lyra's voice appeared. We saw everything. Ethan smiled. You watched? Every moment. Then you know we made it. Yes. Her voice sounded different. Warmer somehow. Proud? Ethan asked. There was a long pause. Finally, she answered. Very. He laughed. Coming from an alien, that's a pretty big compliment. It is. The silence that followed felt meaningful, like the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Ethan, Lyra said quietly. Our people have voted. His heart skipped. About what? The law. What law? The one preventing contact. He stood slowly. What happened? Another pause, then words that changed history forever. We have decided humanity is ready. Outside, the stars shined brighter than ever. Not because they had changed, but because humanity had. For generations, humans had looked into the darkness wondering if anyone was listening. Wondering if they were alone. Now they finally had an answer. No, they were not alone. And somewhere among the countless stars, an alien woman smiled as humanity took its first step into a much larger universe. The age of isolation was over. The age of humanity had just begun.